Dear listener, welcome to the Quarter Hour. I'm Wade Kingsley. Today we're going to talk about not talking. A few weeks ago, Triple M, one of the major radio networks here in Australia, did something called No Talk Day, where basically they shut up, as they said, played the songs, and they shut up for a good reason because they wanted listeners to talk to each other, particularly around mental health. No Talk Day has been going for a few years now, and the man who is behind the concept and runs it very successfully from SCA is Brendan Tacey. G'day, BT. How are you?
Hey, Wade. Good to see you, mate. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Really good, mate. It's been quite a while since we last crossed paths, so yeah, it's great.
It has been a little bit, but it's great to see that No Talk Day keeps going and you're championing it.
Yeah.
Right back to the origin story. Tell us how it started.
Yeah. So it was 2019 was the first year. Mike Fitzpatrick, who was the head of Triple M content at that stage, was well aware of what was going on in the mental health space, particularly for men in Australia, where 9 people a day are taking their own life and 7 of those are men. And then when you drill down those numbers even further, you get into this core demographic of an age of men taking their life each day, and that demographic was right in the Triple M sweet spot, right in our demographic. So Fitzy had the idea to take everything off air for that day because the whole thing was that the blokes don't talk. You know, we bottle stuff up inside, blokes don't talk. So he wanted to take all the announcers off air, all the shows, news, traffic, commercials, everything off air for the day and not talk, to give our audience, or to highlight the fact that men aren't talking, and to give our audience the opportunity to start a conversation for themselves or for someone they care about. Check in on a mate. So that's where it started, and it evolved into a relationship with Beyond Blue and Lifeline, who are the 2 main organisations within Australia who help out in this mental health space for people who need it. And you can contact them obviously with through Lifeline. And we had a great relationship with those guys for a number of years, and we would record chats with representatives from those organisations. Mike Fitzpatrick left the business a number of years ago. Sean Goff then picked up the mantle and took it over. Sean Goff left the business last year, and then I'm left in the business and have taken the mantle over this year as my first year to really drive it, I guess, because I have been involved since day one as an audio producer, producing all the audio for No Talk Day. So yeah, mate. So it was really exciting this year to get into it, because I've personally been involved with grassroots men's mental health organisations for a number of years. One in particular is called Are You Bogged, Mate, which is a rural sort of organisation that goes around Australia. Mary O'Brien travels around Australia, talks to rural communities, farmers, mining, and about mental health, and in a way that blokes understand it and it resonates with them and actually helps them. So I've wanted to shine a spotlight on an organisation like Are You Bogged, Mate for quite some time. This year I got the chance to do it. And alongside that, we also included TX. This is a conversation starter. So those guys, you would have seen all the really bright, loud, colourful shirts that get sold through Bunnings, and every shirt that gets sold, 50% goes towards TX, which is a program that people can call up, blue-collar workers can call up and get help when they need it. And it's a completely free service because it's funded through, like shirts and donations. So that's TX. We had a representative, a counsellor from TX talk to us. And then also Tom Herschel from Find Your Feet. Find Your Feet is an organisation that specifically talks to our kids in schools about mental health. And so he's making generational change, basically. So one day, hopefully that stat is going to reduce that 9 people a day, 7 are men, take their own life. That number needs to come down.
Mate, I love your passion for it. Let's hear some of the audio.
G'day, I'm Tommy Herschel from Find Your Feet.
Hi, I'm Mary O'Brien from Are You Bogged, Mate?
And I'm Kurt from TX.
Triple M's No Talk Day is back Monday, July 6th.
9 people a day are still taking their own life, with 7 of those being men.
Many just don't talk. That's why on Monday, July 6th, Triple M, as you know it, stops talking.
To encourage you to start a conversation for yourself or someone you care about.
All day, we'll be giving you helpful tips to start that chat.
And steps you can take to help with your own mental health.
Triple M's No Talk Day, Monday, July 6th.
It's amazingly powerful audio. Do you think being an audio producer gives you a different lens on what would otherwise be a community service or charity activity?
Really good question, mate. Absolutely. I think the way that these audios came about, we sat down with each of those representatives, Mary O'Brien, Kurt from TX, and Tommy from Find Your Feet, and recorded a full 1 hour podcast with each of them, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search up No Talk Day 2026 and have a listen to those, because they're incredible stories that the guys tell, and just great audio that will help you. If you're having your own struggles, this audio will help you. But then as an audio producer, to drill down in that and then find those, I'm all about finding the gold, finding the nuggets within those conversations that can be those snippets, the reels, the audio versions of reels, to bring those out and then highlight what needs to be said to the audience in a concise way. So as an audio producer, yes, you do listen to things and you hear things that the general, public may not hear. But that's my job, to bring that out and make it palatable for everyone to benefit from, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so I think the idea is a great one. And we know Fitzy's very good on his creative thinking. And I was there at the time, and I'm so glad that it's continued and gone from strength to strength. Let's talk about the radio logistics. How do you actually take off sponsor credits?
Yeah.
This is what everyone listening would go. How do you actually get rid of commercials for the day? How do you go about that task?
Yeah. So it's a massive undertaking from the network's point of view, and credit to Triple M, Southern Cross Austereo, and the business that we are now with the Channel 7 Southern Cross Austereo merger. It's a massive, massive investment for them to take off their revenue. They basically switch their revenue tap off for the day, which you can't underestimate what that means. So that in itself is a massive contribution, just to show that the network does want to highlight this, does want to be a part of it, because our audience is affected by it every day. So it's important to them to do that. So credit to them for taking all that off. It literally is, we build the music logs, and within the music logs, there is no commercials, there is no traffic for the day, there's no shows on, everyone just gets a day off. But we hope that they're out there starting a conversation for themselves as well, even our staff, our announcers, everyone. So yeah, mate, it's a massive undertaking, but it's not that hard just to take those out of the logs, leave the music in there, and put the messages in amongst it. We built it all. I had all the content. There probably would have been about 60 pieces of audio content, like audio reels. And then we sat down with great team, Maddie Thompson and Owen Davis at Triple M, and just sat there, looked at the log on a big screen, and just started plugging the audio in to make sure we had a right balance of the audio too, because our three voices that we had on No Talk Day, they say a similar thing, but they say it in their own language. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't saying the same message, one straight after the other from a different voice. So yeah, that was the management of just getting everything placed.
What about the playlist on the day? Do you take special interest in the songs that are played or how that comes together?
Yeah. So Andrew Very, who's our head of music scheduling across the network, does an incredible job, and he look, it's not my forte. I go, AV, we need the music. AV makes it and sends it to him. We go, yep, beautiful, mate, I love it. So I think his focus was kind of putting a lot more acoustic type tracks in, just to give a bit of a different tone to the day, I guess, and very selective in the music. Like, you don't want tracks that reference suicide happening on the day. It's just it's not the right sort of taste. So yeah, AV is very careful about the placement of all the music and making sure that it fits the right tone that goes with the content as well. And he's brilliant at it. He's a gun.
Yeah, mate. And it sounds amazing. I think it's one of those things too that we're lucky in Australia that we get to hear what it sounds like. You hear it promoted, it's coming up, you tune in. And I think just the stark effect of not having talk is more powerful than it sounds on paper. So to say no talk, you go, okay, so there's no talk. But obviously there's voices, but the voices are changed. The words are coming from people with lived experience or people in the sector that are helping.
Correct.
And when that happens all through the day, when you as a radio listener, you're sort of sitting going, oh, that was good. Now, where's the commercials? Where's the news? Where's the traffic? And it's simply not there. It's actually such a powerful statement. And I can only say congratulations and applaud you, because I know this was the 8th year, and I'm sure there'll be a 9th and 10th and beyond.
100% there will, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, these sort of initiatives do need champions internally. I think that when you've got someone who creates an idea or leads a team that creates an idea, there's always a risk that if that person leaves the business, the idea goes with them, not to another station, but, their passion leaves the building. But, from everyone I've spoken to, even just in setting up this interview, the comments have come back, BT loves it. It's his thing. He just owns it. He does really well. So
thank you, mate. Yeah. It's because I've seen firsthand, particularly these grassroots organisations. I'm wearing the Are You Bogmate hat. I'm wearing the Find Your Feet jumper, and I don't have any TX merch with me, but I've got something with TX on it around the place.
Yep.
I facilitate for Are You Bogmate at one of their annual events where they bring 20 random blokes from all across Australia who need a break and bring them to one location for 4 days and take them through the language that Mary delivers to these guys, right, to help them with their own struggles. And we do these programs and various activities across 4 days. We get 20 guys who don't know each other walk in as nervous as anything on day one. By day 4, they're leaving as brothers. And I've been involved with that for about 3 to 4 years now. And those relationships from 4 years ago are still as strong as ever. And this community is being built. A massive part of this is community. If you feel connected with somebody with a shared experience, and geographically, you could be at opposite ends of the country, and Australia being a massive, massive country. If you just know that you've got someone there that you can lean on, it makes all the difference, mate. And I've seen that come together with this organisation. So I guess that's where the passion comes from, because in the radio game, we're all about, it's about the biggest names and the biggest celebrities and all that sort of stuff. This is real. These organisations we work with this year are the genuine boots on the ground, making a difference, and people need to hear what they're about, the message that they've got, because by God, they make an incredible difference.
They do, mate. And we'll put all the links to the organisations in the show notes of the pod. On behalf of not only radio people, but from someone you're speaking to right now who has had mental health challenges in recent times, thank you for what you do. I think this is something that goes beyond just normal radio. It's such a great idea for the radio, but the impact it has, as you just mentioned, goes way beyond that. So on behalf of everyone, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for this opportunity, mate. Great to see you.
Are You Bogmates, Mary O'Brien on No Talk Day.
Mental health and depression is a bit like getting bogged. So when we bog a machine, whether it's big or small, we don't just get out and set fire to it and say that's too hard. We always take the time and trouble to get that machine out. Do not make life-changing decisions under the influence. Now that's under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or strong emotion. All three are equally as bad.
Find Your Feet's Tom Herschel.
A lot of blokes think going and seeing a counsellor, you're going to sit there one-on-one across, going to have a bloody candle in the middle, drink lemongrass tea. The lady I've got, we'll sit there and have conversations. And she said to me early doors, hey, treat me like a mechanic. I'm going to change your filters. I'm going to bloody grease and oil change. You need new tyres, I'm happy to put them on. She said, don't treat me like a panel beater. I don't want you coming here when you're beaten up. And she said, I'll be here when you do. But she said, we're going to be going much better when you can come and see me, when I can just service you.
TX counsellor Kurt Everard.
We're trying to normalise these conversations. We're trying to normalise these struggles, and there is something that we can do about it. The last thing we want people to do is just try and do it alone. We want people to lean on those around them and lean on the professional services that are out there and get back to love and life again, get back to who they are, because we can find ourselves in difficult positions. It may seem like I experienced, like many people experience, it may seem like there's no way out. But in my opinion, I'm biased obviously, I think there's always a way forward. And it starts with leaning on those around us, whether it be our family and friends, or leaning on the various professional services that are out there like TX.